John, the Passion Translation, Chapter 2. Now, on the third day, Jesus' mother went to a wedding feast in the Galilean village of Cana. Jesus and his disciples were all invited to the banquet, but with so many guests, they ran out of wine. And when Mary realized it, she came to Jesus and asked, "They have no wine. Can you do something about it?" Jesus replied, "My dear one, don't you understand that if I do this, it will change nothing for you, but it will change everything for me? My hour of unveiling my power has not yet come." Mary then went to the servers and told them, "Whatever Jesus tells you to do, do it." Nearby stood 6 stone water pots, meant to be used for Jewish washing rituals. Each one could hold about 20 gallons or more. Jesus came to the servers and instructed them, "Fill the pots with water right up to the brim." Then he said, "Now fill your pitchers and take them to the master of the ceremony." When they poured out their pitchers for the master of ceremony to sample, the water had become wine. When he tasted the water that had become wine, the master of ceremonies was impressed with its quality. Although he didn't know where the wine had come from, only the servers knew. He called the bridegroom over and said to him, "Every host serves his best wine first, until everyone has had a cup or two. Then he serves the cheaper one. But you, my friend, you've reserved the most exquisite wine until now." This miracle in Cana was the first one of many extraordinary miracles Jesus performed in Galilee that revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. After the wedding, Jesus, his mother and brothers, and his disciples traveled to Capernaum and stayed there for a few days. When the time was close for the Jewish Passover to begin, Jesus walked to Jerusalem. As he went into the temple courtyard, he noticed it was filled with merchants selling oxen, lambs, and doves for exorbitant prices, while others were overcharging as they exchanged currency behind their counters. So Jesus found some cords and made them into a whip. Then he drove out every one of them and their animals from the courtyard of the temple, and he kicked over the tables filled with money, scattering it everywhere. And he told the merchants, "Get these things out of here. Don't you dare commercialize my Father's house." That's when the disciples remembered the scripture, "I am consumed with a fiery passion to keep your house pure." Then the religious leaders challenged Jesus. "What authority do you have to do this sort of thing, and what supernatural sign will you show us to prove it?" Jesus answered, "Destroy this temple, and I will raise it up in 3 days." Then the Jewish leaders sneered at Jesus' answer. "This temple took over 46 years to build, and you mean to tell us that you will raise it up in 3 days? But they failed to understand that Jesus was speaking of the temple of his body. The disciples remembered his prophecy after Jesus rose from the dead and believed both the scripture and what Jesus had said. While Jesus was at the Passover feast, the number of his followers began to grow, and many gave their allegiance to him because of the miracle signs that they had seen him doing. But Jesus did not yet entrust himself to them because he knew how fickle human hearts can be. He needed no one to tell him about human nature, for he fully understood what man was capable of doing.